Thank you for letting me know. I have not. I had my mic right next to me. It just wasn't plugged in the whole time. Thank you for telling me. Okay. I'll play one more of these out. It's the right idea there. He just slightly misspaced it. Oh, I thought I got over it. Yeah, that's the thing. I'm kind of giving away my opportunity to get back. Because, like, living a long time versus Bayo is, like, the big deal. If you can't do that, it's over. Okay. Yeah, that one I could feel. Not quite. I tried to turn it around, but it was a mistake either way. Okay. That's just insane. That's out of range. Okay. He's fishing. This is where, like, Ike wins. It's whether I lose the stock first or I clutch it out. Am I dead? No. I got so lucky. I meant to go over his head, so I'll consider it a blessing. Wow, he avoided that very well. Shouldn't have short hop. Oh, what a grab. It's too quick. Good cross up. I don't think it was enough, but yeah, it's not gonna kill anyway. Nice crouch. Okay. I caught him run back in. I have another opportunity. I didn't expect to get one. Oh, that was so bad. That would he was terrible. Not his mind. Another one? Good grab. Not gonna kill. Dash attack? Yeah. Okay, I'm kind of obligated to go now. Awesome. I'll play one more. I'm gonna play one more match, then call. That's when the session will start. Unless he leaves. And then I'll just play. Because I'm not gonna play another person. Yeah, okay. Twitch. Good idea. Oh god. Okay, at least it sent me in. I mistimed that again. For Bayo in particular, it's really not that bad to get an F smash on Ike's up B. Like, it shouldn't be inconsistent. Some characters have it way worse, I'll put it that way. He delayed it. I read the rule, I just did it too late. Right at ledge, baby. Good idea. Good idea. I don't like that one as much, but it ended up working out, so I guess I can't complain. Not quite right, yeah. Mixed. Mixed. This is what I mean. Like, this is where Ike Straight, like, succeeds. And if I can get a little bit more damage, like this, like, he's afraid now. He's gonna try and hit me. Wow, he didn't try and hit me. Yeah, overextended. Okay, I actually don't have my light. I'll see what I can do, though. Maybe I can change the light of something. Oh, wow. He, like, bonked off the stage. I don't think he meant to. Oh, if I could have killed him there, it would have been over. Or, like, it should have been over. Now I'm taking a billion. No, I'm dead. That's the other side of this matchup getting gimped. Because now it's not uphill, but it's something like uphill. It's worse than it was for me. Yeah, can't do that. Okay. Now it comes down to who can get the creative kill. Or how can I prevent getting killed creatively? Okay, should be fine. Yeah. Cross me up. He's a smart cross up at least. Oh, is he dead? Oh, he's dead! Ew! Oh my god, he must have been holding out or something. Oh no, it's okay. It's okay. I will put on... What can I do for purple light? I can use my phone. Nah, I'm not gonna rematch. But it's okay. And thank you for stopping by the stream. Now I actually have to, like, do work. I can't just game all day. Can you hear me?
Hello.
Yo, what's up?
How's it going?
Pretty well. I played a little bit of Elite Smash. I did a quick best of 3 because I started by accident. But
Yeah, no.
yeah, let's get into it. I'm seeing your VODs. I'm gonna pull them up on my browser and then screen share, and then we'll start.
Okay, wonderful.
So which one do you want to
Kind
start
of
with?
sent them like in order of like, I guess like how important I think it would be because I think the first one is probably where I played my best that day.
Perfect.
And the second one, I broke one of your rules. I apologize in
What?
advance.
What happened?
Taking Mac to Battlefield.
Okay, okay. Did you just forget,
So
or did you?
I'm not obviously I'm not drowning. I'm not gonna be like, oh, that's why I lost. But like,
Hmm.
I'm saying that there definitely could have been better decisions made, even not just in game for
Yeah,
that one.
I get that. I
And
get
then the
that.
third one is a winning set, but I didn't really feel like very comfortable to like I sort of like felt like I not cheesed out the win, but like I gimmicked my way to winning, if that makes sense.
No, it makes sense. I get that. I fully understand what you mean. You want more clarification on it. Okay, so let's do
Yeah.
this.
So
And
yeah,
just
this
like
one I don't
this.
know. Have you ever heard of Venus?
I actually have heard that tag. I don't know if it's the same person, but yes, I have.
Yeah, so he's like one of probably the second best SoCal Luigi behind Elegant, obviously.
Yeah.
Um, he's really really good. But this set, like, extremely doable because, in my opinion, at least, like maybe like you can see also from the replay, I don't think he knows how to play around Ike that well, at least in the beginning.
Hmm.
But then later on, he was catching on to my habits like really hard. So I give him like big props to for that. But yeah, especially in the beginning, it felt like a little lost. Like I was just able to get free hits. But I guess I didn't counter adapt in time to his adaptation.
That
That's sort of like the vibe that I got from watching it back and also just when I played it.
that makes sense. I do know that for Luigi, a lot of it is what's funny is that I kind of forces him to play a little bit more fundamental because from what I understand, it's actually kind of
I'm sorry,
difficult to
I
get the.
can't hear you that well. It's cutting off.
Hey, can you hear me now? Hello.
Yes,
Okay,
kind of.
there you go. There you go. No, no problem. No problem. It's just from what I
Yeah.
understand, it's difficult to do the
Hello.
zero to death.
Okay.
Yeah. Sorry, if am I cutting in and out? Hold on, let me check
Yeah.
the
No, no,
thing
no. I
here.
can hear you now. I don't think, from what I recall, I did not get zero to death once.
Yeah.
So
No, I was gonna
because I understand that SDI and up B saves us.
I was gonna say not only that, it's also difficult for Luigi to do it to us. Like the
Yeah.
what's the word for it? The zero to death is actually kind of hard to do to Ike, which is interesting. I never, what's the word for that? I never knew that. So let's get into this.
Yeah, I think I can see that. Like I kind of felt that like it was not that easy. It didn't seem free like if like I was like Bowser or something.
Yeah, yeah. It's just because Ike is slender. It's not even his weight or anything
So
like
yeah,
that.
that makes sense. He does get a really good stock first though.
Yeah, yeah. Nice, nice.
Hello?
Yeah. Can can you hear me? I don't know what's going on. I'm pretty sure it's not my microphone. It might be Discord. Uh, let me see. It might be Discord. Hold on. Let's do this. Okay. Let me check the call. Can you hear me?
Hello. Yeah, so sorry about that. It was just it was like I don't know what's up with my Wi-Fi today.
Oh no, it's okay. I want to make sure I want to make sure it's possible because if it's on my end, then I have to fix it. You know what I mean? But yeah.
Yeah, no worries. No, this is normal. Like sometimes my Wi-Fi just dips like crazy because we have like 6 people in my household, so
Oh no, no, I
it do be like
understand.
that sometimes.
I just want to make sure it wasn't on my end. I didn't want to do something and like not do something that could be fixed. But it's fine. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, yeah, no problem, no problem.
Okay.
I could hear it pretty well now. So
Good.
yeah,
Good.
I'm sorry though. Would you be able to repeat at least what you said for that first talk?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I was basically just watching. I was just watching. The main thing that I'm seeing that I really like is that you're not fishing for an edge guard. Not when he has so many resources and he's
Yeah.
so close to stage. I think here you might want to opt for one, but the way that you went for down air there, I think is fine. And I like the idea of keeping more with the ledge trapping. You're playing this stock out really well, especially after the fact that he, got a very quick stock on you. Yeah, he's
Okay.
really trying to punish a jump, very clean. I'm just kind of watching this one over. We're gonna go back a little bit more in depth, but for now, I'm seeing a lot of good stuff against this character. Yeah, there you want to do up air, but that's fine. That's something I'm sure that it'll only happen a few times. That was a great fair from him. Nice, nice, nice awareness going to platform. Most people would go back to ledge. Good nair. That's unfortunate, but it was still smart. Okay, okay. F tilt caught him off guard. I don't think it was particularly safe yet. You'll learn in this matchup that Eruption's actually not as good as it seems. He has so many ways of delaying the up B, and it snaps perfectly, so you have to guess, basically. I learned my lesson versus Guy. He's my resident Luigi.
Yeah. I was like this because I know you have a good amount of experience with Luigi.
Yeah, I wouldn't say I'm amazing in the matchup, but I do play my fair share. And like the Luigis that I lose to are like insane. They're on the level of this player. So nice, nice. Oh, good idea. Good idea.
Thanks.
I'm seeing a lot of good stuff here. The thing about Luigi is that it's one mistake and you die. Like that.
Yeah.
Like that could have been your death. I don't know why he didn't try and grab dash attack. Like Luigi grab will punish it pretty consistently. Good fair. Yeah, that's. I don't think it'll hit. Yeah. You have to get a really good read. Okay. Okay. Burst F tilt, I think is going to be the thing that gets you punished more often because it works, but only because it's not a great option. It loses to shield,
Right.
right? And he's just not playing around it because I guess he doesn't think that it's going to be happening. He got caught by it twice, which I'm kind of surprised about, but I don't think it'll continue to work on a player at this level. So let's go back and watch the first game because this is a very good game overall. Here. Okay, now you're cutting in and out a little bit. I can't hear you very well. Let me just do this. Chozin? Hello? Yo.
Yeah. Sorry, the connection dipped a bit. So,
Nah, it's okay.
yeah, the last thing I heard was about the F tilt. So you said that he wasn't necessarily playing around it, which yeah, that's definitely true. Um, would you say like it's just overall not a great option to like at least like try to get kills against Luigi?
Yeah, it's not that it's a bad option. I think in the places that you used it, it was fine. It was just pretty like at least to an
Okay.
Ike player, it was pretty obvious that that's what you were looking for. Um I feel like
Yeah.
we're gonna see him start to jump over it. We're gonna see him start to force you to misspace it. He might get a grab off that. Um, I think
Right.
we're gonna see more counterplay to it because the only counterplay he was trying to do was down B it, but that's just it's very precise. Because if you miss the first seven
Yeah.
frames of the invincibility, you get F tilted anyway. So I think that we're gonna see a little bit more
Say
counterplay to it. That's my guess. Sorry, what'd you say?
percent the adjustments that he made as well. Would you say at least like in that game, like my choices for approaching were decent?
I wouldn't say they were decent. I would say they were great. The majority of the
Okay.
stops, you were playing very very well. The problem is that Luigi, he magnifies the mistake, right? Like you make one mistake and you get hit very very hard. That's the nature of the character. So like, I wouldn't say you played poorly by any stretch. You played very well. I do want to pull it up again though,
Okay.
because I want to continue to review it. So here, yeah, okay. Like this was smart. You ended up missing because he directional air dodged, which is a pretty weak option overall, but it does beat what you went for. Normally when
Yeah.
you hit nair or like when I hit nair like that, I wouldn't go for grab, especially not if you read the directional air dodge, which I think you did. Um, I would go for F tilt in this particular situation because it's the quickest thing that hits that whole area, right? Because grab is good and it gets you more
Okay.
damage, but it doesn't cover as much, right? It's much smaller than F tilt. Uh, you could try an up
Yeah.
tilt,
So
which
you're
might
saying down tilt is the better. I
down
only
tilt
caught
works.
like.
Down tilt works. It's a little bit more precise, but it's very safe if you miss it. F tilt it covers more, but you don't get to pressure as quickly afterward. You could even try an up tilt. Up tilt would probably catch this because it's so active. It also might catch a directional air dodge in if you time it perfectly. But up tilt kind of suffers the
Okay.
same as F tilt does because it doesn't really allow you to follow up as fast as down tilt does. But like all his tilts are great in these sort of landing catch situations. You could even try a side B if you were
Okay.
really feeling it. Like if you expected him to jump
But
away or something.
you'd say like because I know myself like in these types of situations as well because I noticed like really good players how they like try to avoid our grab is direct air dodge.
Listen, I'm
So
sorry.
like
I
to
can't make out
combat
what you're
this is
saying.
you.
I can't make out what you're saying right
So
now.
sorry.
No, it's okay. It's not your fault.
Uh,
I get it. I can't understand you.
can you hear me now?
Yeah. It's better.
Okay, wonderful. Um, so what I notice, like when I play a good player versus, like a good, like a really, really good player,
Hmm.
is that they will either, so the decent player is going to neutral air dodge after like a nair, right?
Yeah.
But the really good players are going to try to, at first, directional air dodge because then we can't get the grab follow up.
Yeah.
So would you say like at least like my expectation, especially like playing like someone as good as this, is just to be like grab is more of a commitment, and I should try more so to follow up with down tilts because I feel like I miss that like a lot.
I would say just in general, if you're not going for the true Nair grab, because Nair grab can be a combo, if you're not going for the true combo, you generally want to catch landings with tilts. It's just more consistent
Okay,
because
yeah,
the grab you can't grab in what's the word for it? Like the grab doesn't exist for very long. The grab box doesn't last as long as something like an up tilt or an F tilt or even a down tilt. So like the tilt A exists
yeah,
in space longer, so it's more likely to catch an air dodge. It also has way less recovery time. Missing a grab is like your pressure's over. It's basically neutral. I would argue it's your opponent's advantage. Missing a down tilt, you're still winning. So like I just think it's way more consistent to go for tilts to catch those sorts of like escape options,
yeah,
right? If they attack you, you still win,
yeah,
right? Because to me, grab covers just like you have to. It essentially covers the the space wherever you're grabbing, and they're not attacking, and they're landing exactly where you think they're going to land. A down tilt covers the entire
yeah.
space of down tilt. An F tilt or an up tilt will beat an attack and cover the entire space of the tilt. Like it's so much more consistent and it covers so much more options. And it's not quite as rewarding, but it's still the same advantage state, and that's so much more worth it. Because I think let me
Yeah.
just see.
So
You
I
missed the
think I
grab here.
should
What
change my
happens?
default.
Yeah, I would say that is something that if your default is grab there, then you want to change that to tilt. So 100%. I'm gonna pull up a document. I forgot to do that. We're gonna pull up a
That's
document,
okay.
and that's the first thing we're gonna write is that you want to catch landings with tilts, and I'm gonna specify exactly what I mean with each tilt because down tilt I would say is great for covering the ground, and if you're unsure, I would say down tilt because at the very worst you get to continue your pressure because if you miss a down tilt, it's fine, right? So
Yeah. It
let's
has
write
a quick like recovery.
exactly.
It's
So
not too
let's write
laggy.
this down. Cover landings slash escape options with tilts, not grabs. F tilt covers most horizontal distance but is slowest. Slash gives up pressure if you miss. D tilt very safe, quick, right, and combos lets you pressure after. And then up tilt has the most vertical coverage and can catch stuff behind you sometimes, which the other tilts can't. And can
Would you say sometimes be a good way to catch? They try like to retaliate, like hit like an aerial or something. Because I also notice I get it's like when I try to grab and like if they're just gonna jump over me and attack.
yes, so
Is
that's the thing. When you go for nair grab, yeah, sorry, you're cutting in a little bit, but when you go for nair, no, don't apologize, it's fine. When you go for nair, grab loses to attack. It loses to attack. It loses to them not being in the place that you expect them to be in. So it loses to it loses to jump away because you can't grab a jump, and it only beats an air dodge or a do nothing, and it only works if you know exactly where they're going to be, right? So these tilts are so much more consistent. Up tilt will beat almost every move in the game unless it's extremely quick. Down tilt will crouch under a lot of stuff, right? So for example, Luigi tries to fair you out of an air, you're under it and you're down tilting his landing almost always. And if you miss the down tilt, he'll miss you and you still have the advantage.
Yeah.
Right. Up tilt will probably beat the fair, and F tilt might trade with it. I think you're gonna lose that trade unless you maybe angle it up. I'm not sure. But angle up to F tilt is really good for catching some of the air dodges because it will hit very far out in front of you. So being able to angle F tilt consistently is nice to have.
Yeah, I'll definitely keep that because I never think to F tilt the nair like a straight hit nair or like like something that's like it's not gonna be like a nair up there like guaranteed nair grab, you know?
No, I understand. I fully do, and that's the thing right here. Like you instead of going for the tilt, you do go for the grab. Uh,
Yeah.
and even though you win neutral, right? You win neutral, you get punished.
Yeah.
And it's not
That
as hard as
happens
it
a
could have been,
lot.
but it's still 50%, and it's actually 64% because he gets your escape option, right? So from this one advantage state, he gets over 60, right? And
Yeah.
48 of it is true. Uppy is not a bad idea. I don't mind it. I really don't, especially because he didn't do the guy. I've actually done this before, and what guy will do is he'll wave dash onto the platform behind you and kill you with up B. But um, like
I've
he
never seen that before. That
oh
sounds crazy.
it's evil. Guy with platform stuff is I've been down thrown under PS2, under the PS2 platform, and I teched like in, and he wave landed up beat me and killed me at 45.
That's
And that was our
nuts.
set. Yeah, no. It was he doesn't play fair. I'll put it that way. But like like you like missing this is really bad. Keep that in mind. But he doesn't punish it, so it is what it is. I don't
Yeah.
mind up B out of the combo. Just keep in mind that it's risky. Uh,
Yeah.
and yeah, here you turn it
At that
around. I
moment,
think
I
that
was
was
just scared
just
of getting zero to death.
exactly. I think you turned it around by accident, but yeah, you always want to be facing
Yeah.
him. I don't think at any point he gets behind you, unless he's like
Yeah.
baiting it out. So yeah, you're back in the middle. This side B is kind of it's just a panic option. I don't think
Yep.
this is a good side B. It works because obviously he's not ready for it, so that's fine. But like I think you meant to go to ledge, so it is what it is. Great conversion from him there. He actually killed you. Wow, this fair
Yeah.
is like just
Mhm.
it's just a really good play. Uh, fair he catches your mistech and kills you off the grab. That was just really good.
Yeah.
However, I love this, right? Just waiting, right?
Yeah.
Grabbing. I don't know if that was preemptive. I think it might have been preemptive, but either way, you're playing very safe. That was perfect. You punished the grab extremely well. Again, nice. You're just calling him out.
Yeah, I kept noticing he likes to neutral get up even like throughout the set.
Yeah. Neutral get up into shield. I haven't seen a neutral get up air dodge yet. You went into stage because I don't think you wanted to kill him. I don't know. I don't know if you could. I don't mind it either, honestly, especially because he's at 100. Right. Maybe would have tried to kill him there, but because you have such a lead, it's not worth risking your stock. I get that.
Yeah,
Good F
yeah, I'm
tilt.
trying to whiff
That
punish him
that
here.
was an example of a great F tilt because you're outspacing the Zerg. This maybe I was wrong about the F tilt. I'm gonna have to rewatch it. I just noticed a lot of it, like here, again. But if it's a mix up, especially when you're spacing around something that's like tangible, that's fine. Okay, bit of a risky grab, but that's fine. Yeah, he's so this down B is actually preemptive. So I'm pretty sure this is basically what's going on in his head. He gets down throwed, he gets up aired, right? And up aired again. You delayed it in such a way where I don't think the first up air was true, but it made the second up air true.
Yeah,
So in his mind, he's like, okay, I'm not going to let him overextend on me again. And you end up overextending on him again, and he gets the down B,
yeah,
right? Um, eh, but funnily enough, I'm not upset about any of this. The only thing I'm going to tell you is that when you condition someone that hard, and what's funny is that this only works on good players. When you do this, you can charge an F smash.
yeah,
You can
yep,
punish him so hard for trying to escape because when you hit that on a Luigi, they're going to be like, I'm at 30, he's trying to hit me again, I'm going to hit him out of it, right? Because
yep,
he's just seen you demonstrate that you're willing to overextend. He's right. But if you're aware of that situation and you're aware that he's going to be trying to escape, because I'm not going to lie to you, Luigi's want to get out. They want it, like they're one of those characters that will do this more than anyone. They're willing to take the hits and the damage for down being out of stuff if it means that they can land on the stage once or twice more because that's all they need. So like
yep,
if you can punish him for the first time that he down Bs, it's going to be very difficult for this player, especially like for this character. So I'm gonna put that on the sheet actually.
okay.
So
I am also like aware of that punish, but it's just like like that. I'm still not like that point where like I get comfortable with like okay, I'm really smacking for sure. But
I'm sorry, you cut out again. Can you say that again?
yeah, I was like I do know about that like punish, but it's just I guess like, during that game I just wasn't comfortable enough to do it. But I
No,
should put that more into practice
I
for
fully
sure.
understand, but you went for the fair immediately, and I'm not
Yeah,
sure if you thought it might have been true or not. But my point is that like it's not about going for the F smash. It's not about going for a specific sort of move. It's about understanding that your opponent's what's the word? Your opponent's intention, right?
yeah,
Because when you hit them with that, their intention is going to be to escape. So whether you F smash them or back
yep,
air them or wait on the ground and shield and block their down B, well, however you decide to punish it, if you're aware of that intention, you can do whatever. That's the beauty of Ike. You can do literally any move in the game. You
yep.
could snap legend, get up attack him if you wanted to for some mental damage. Um, okay, so condition the opponent with your advantage state, right? And I'm going to put in parentheses overextension into punishing bad escape option true combo because that happens a lot. Okay. So in this situation, you end up falling out. I don't know if you DI'd it or like SDI'd it, but
I
you,
tried to DI out of it.
yeah, I think it was just at a bad angle for him. So you just popped out. Good punish. Okay, that was just unfortunate. I think this is just straight up just up air him.
Yeah,
Uh,
for sure.
in my personal opinion, I think Luigi generally wants to be sent off stage and edge guarded, but against Ike in particular, you can kind of get away with juggling him. Like the argument in my head is like, do you want to send him off stage or do you want to send him above you? and I think you wanted to like send him horizontally. But I think if you send him above you because of his bad air mobility and the only real gimmick he has is like down B, and we have up air and like ways of just completely outspacing down B. Like I think throwing him up is fine. Like juggling this character is fine. For some other characters, it's really not. But you don't have to be sending him off stage because his recovery mix-ups against Ike, like they kind of nullify eruption. You really have to get a hard read on him to get an eruption, and downer's tough. Like you get to ledge trap after downer, but it's very tough to actually hit the downer itself.
Yep.
So
It does feel sometimes like really impossible to edge guard him, but
it's not impossible to edge guard him. Really, what you want to do is wait for him to burn a jump. If you can hit
yeah,
him with any move, like fair, without when he doesn't have a jump, he's dead. Right. The only problem is that usually he's time to avoid it. Uh, One thing that you might want to practice in friendlies. This is something that you really have to be prepared for. Is reverse up B.
yep,
Reverse up B seems really good in this particular matchup for edge guarding. You just have to be ready because otherwise he might do something stupid or get a misfire or something and just kill you.
yeah.
So
That's right too.
yeah,
I do need to practice with W's.
yeah, exactly. It's not even just practicing reverse up Bs. It's just practicing on it on his recovery.
Yeah.
Yeah, but here there's an awkward like this is what I mean. Like he's in the corner trying to block F tilt.
So what I think, you probably like remember when I see him like flicker his shield like that.
Yeah,
That's what makes me want to. If you see like a bit later, it's pretty funny.
dash attack.
I just go for the dash attack. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I honestly I've
He's like
fallen into
flicking
that
his
trap
shield.
before too. He's not gonna get a parry, but the odds of you hitting his shield are like half and half.
Exactly. Yeah.
Uh,
I don't know if that was a
it's
smart move on my part, but I was just thinking there's a chance. It's a better chance than him just straight up shielding. So maybe I'll
yeah.
try it.
And the thing is,
And I
he's
was
not
at
really
0.
flickering his shield like in the way you would think. He's not just pushing it up and down and taking the 50-50 of whether or not he's going to block an unsafe move. It's more so that he's
Yeah.
baiting you to try and approach him. And then he actually puts up his shield.
I
Right.
see. Okay.
So, like, he's not actually just mashing. But
Okay.
that was a good get up attack. The thing that I wanted to point out here is that this is the fourth F tilt, and then dash attack. So the beauty of blocking in this game is that you can't do it forever. And even flicking the shield eventually will break it. So if you stand there, right, let's assume you're not actually F tilting, or you stay in this area, he eventually has to come to you because he's at 138 and you're at 0 and he's in the corner, right? Eventually, right, he'll do something. And that might be a defensive option. He might not try and actually hit you, but eventually he'll do something that you can hit him for. If he's just flickering the shield, you can wait. There's no
Yeah.
threat of a timeout, right? Not against Luigi. So, whether he does something that. So, technically, right, in this situation, he could play for the timeout. It would just be a terrible idea, right? That's my point. He's really in no position to be timing you out.
Yeah.
He's basically trying to bait an approach so that he can get a punish and get some extra credit. Maybe even the stock if he's lucky. So if you're aware of that intention, if you're aware of the fact that like he wants me to go to him right now, you can wait out that sort of thing, and eventually he might try and come to you because he has the lead, and if he gets one good read, he could hit you. So you can use that sort of intention and play around it. And if you were to just safely pressure, if you were to just short hop at nair distance and just wait, right? Because the thing is, F tilt it gives up your opportunity to pressure, right? What's the word for it? It gives initiative to your opponent. When you F tilt a shield, even if they block it, nobody in the game can punish you, right? But you can't do another one guaranteed. You can't continue the block string. You can't really, enforce any more pressure. Yeah, you caught a short hop there. I don't think he expected that to hit him. But like, essentially F tilt. I'm gonna put this on the dock. F tilt ends your pressure sequence unless you get a read on their next option, right? It's safe, but doesn't get any true follow-up. Similar to how it works on hit, right? It's just a hit. It hits once, it gives you advantage, but it's not, there are no combos out of F tilt.
Yeah.
So I like the down tilt. Fair, in this situation, I would do that thing where you go off stage and back on with fair. That's the perfect spot for it.
Oh yes, yeah. I
Right.
didn't even think of that in like this kind of matchup because I was thinking he just always goes for ledge,
Yeah, no, I
but that can
understand.
even if he goes for ledge.
Because what's funny is that if you were to do it here in this particular situation, you would have killed him.
Yeah.
But even then, like even not in hindsight, because hindsight's 2020. Even then, like it's just it gives you stage, right? Even
Yeah.
if you didn't cover his exact option, you would have been here instead of here. And here he could have hit you.
Yep.
He doesn't. I don't think he knows how. But back air just kills like. Like he
He tried
like
to cheese me too. He did the taunt. It's pretty
yeah.
funny.
That is actually pretty funny. Good
I've
get
seen
up
him do
attack.
that to like a lot of people.
Yeah, he can takes like honestly taking a stock at 0 can be worth it, especially
Yeah.
when the punish is get up attack.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Good idea. He air dodged weird here. Hold on, I want to see it. Like that was smart. The dash away. Again, you go for fair. He's DIing in.
Yeah.
I think
I
he's
mean,
intentionally.
I need to work on noticing that like a little bit quicker.
Yeah.
Also, that up air, I was trying to read a jump, so like it'll come up like like after this sequence.
Hmm.
So I get the back hit and then I up air. Would you say like I should just instead like land if I don't think he's gonna jump, I should just land with him and try to get another grab?
Uh, Getting another grab is risky for the same reasons as before. In this situation, you have guaranteed platform pressure. So like here, funnily enough, here you actually do have down throw up air up air. It's unfortunate that you didn't see the up air DI because that's a true combo.
Yeah.
But from here, right, this sort of situation, and you get the nair, right? This he's going to tech, right?
Yeah.
He can't really avoid it. So if I were in that situation, I would run in short hop under the platform as he's teching and go for up air. Because worst case scenario, I'm hitting a shield safely, right? And best case scenario, I'm getting up air up air. The
Okay.
immediate up air, it won't hit a tech roll animation. It won't hit someone who misses tech either. It might hit a tech in place animation. But what you did was fine. Even though he parried it, you still were safe. Nice. Nice. A little too far, but you still got back. Like, honestly, the fair I'm talking about at this point,
Yeah.
when you get an air like that, and then the fair, I know you want to kill him. If you stay here, you stay in line with the stage, there's no real opportunity for him to get around you. So this was just a
Yeah.
little bit too deep, even though he didn't recognize the situation. But you realize your mistake immediately, and you just stop doing it. Good idea with the F tilt there. F tilt, dash attack. Yep, same situation as
Yeah.
before. So again, that is just like this sort of thing is just a lot of what's the word for it? This is greedy, basically. Like you are in
Yeah.
such a situation. Like now the roles are reversed. He has to come to you, and you have no reason to go to him. Obviously, that doesn't mean you run to the other end of the stage and you charge eruption, but like you can you can stand at roll distance and wait for him to commit to something. You don't have to hit him
Yeah.
with F tilt, right? Now the initiative is on him because he's at high percent and you're at low percent. And funnily enough, 10.5%, I don't think he can kill you off a grub at all. He has to hit you at least 2 different times. He has to make at least one more read after the neutral win. So you can play comfortably here. If anything, the dash attack is what's going to get you killed. Right? Like the reason he makes the comeback is because of the swinging. The fair was good, and this just generally doesn't work. You ended up timing it in such a way where you could act afterward, but like there was no need to make this a scramble.
Yeah,
It didn't have to be
it
one.
definitely unnecessary scramble. I should just stand back, especially like just recognize I have the lead, stuff like that.
Yeah.
So like what we talked about before, like a good way like to catch myself is just to look at the percent real quick.
Hmm.
Um,
Sorry, what'd you say?
just from our last session when you said like a good habit to have would be like to if you have to breathe and look
Uh,
percent.
Chosen,
So like in your mind.
you're cutting out.
Oh,
You have to repeat that part.
yeah, no worries.
Okay. Yeah, I still can't hear you.
Oh, shoot.
It's okay.
Hello?
Yeah, I think I can hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, yes.
Okay, awesome. So I think I was gonna say this like goes back to our last lesson. You can have it to have it when you have a moment. It's going to be the 1%.
I'm sorry. It's cutting out again. I can't. It's okay. Just give it a second. Maybe it'll die down. But I think you're talking about the other session where we talked about something else more specifically. Uh, I don't know
Yeah.
exactly what it is. So what is it that you're referring to?
Okay.
There you go. Okay.
It's better now.
Yeah.
Awesome. So yeah, it was the from the last session. You said that a good habit to have when I have like downtime, either during a match, like like when it's more like passive,
Hmm.
is just like to like breathe and then look at the percent, so then like you understand the situation, or like remind yourself of the situation.
Yeah, that's true.
So I
I
think
think
that's a habit I need to
I
incorporate
talked
more.
about it more from the perspective of you only need to land a few moves to win as Ike. But yeah, you can do
Yeah.
that. Taking a second and looking at the percentage is fine. I normally have it in my periphery. It's always at the bottom of the screen. And like something very nice to know is that the more percent you have, the redder your number. So like
Yes, of course. Yeah.
you can keep that in mind. Like if the number's orange, you always get nair up air for the most part.
Yeah.
Except on like maybe like 10 characters that are extremely light, that sort of thing, right? And honestly, taking a second to look at the percents and breathe, it can be more of a meditative exercise than a statistical one, if that makes sense. So
Yeah.
yeah, I don't mind that at all. That sounds fine. Just make sure you're
Okay.
focused on the game, because
Of
there's
course.
usually not moments where you're playing so passively that you can just take a coffee break. Uh,
Yeah,
but
for sure.
but no, I like the idea there. Uh,
Yeah. It's just for me. I like I only pay attention to the percents in my opinion. Like
mhm.
just when I'm in advantage or disadvantage, and not necessarily like in neutral too much.
Yeah, that
And
makes
I feel like
sense.
that's kind of important.
I think, yeah, I do think it is quite important. Whether or not that was really close, actually, good Nair. Whether or not you go for Nair or so, the way that I think about it for Ike, at least something that I've been working on, is whether or not I should be facing my opponent at certain percents. I think for Ike, not facing your opponent is kind of a what's the word for it? It's kind of saying to them that my goal is to win this exchange when I jump, right? If I'm not facing my
Right.
opponent, I can land with up air, I can land with back hit and air, and I can land with back air, right? I can also side B, I can also tomahawk, just as easily as if I were facing them. When I face them, I have to either land with nair, maybe fair, right? Maybe an up air if I'm like really good at spacing the up air front hit, but the back hit is just generally easier in combos, just as well, right? So
Right.
you can mix your landing in both directions, but it's generally better to face away from your opponent at kill percent because back air right? Back hit nair up air is a much more consistent combo, and up air will just kill, right?
Yeah.
If it's not going to combo, it's going to kill. So like facing away from your opponent. This is just kind of like a very basic example. I'll put it on the dock. Facing away, and this is obviously just for Ike, from your opponent is, I'm going to say in neutral, is a good way to land kill. I'm going to say bear, back hit, nair, up air, side B, and tomahawk. Just as mix-ups. Because side B is a very good burst option, right? And you can do it at any point. I spelled tomahawk wrong. Is it tomahawk? I'm not sure. Whatever it is.
It's like it's tomahawk with the A.
Yeah, yeah.
The ornament.
Oh, okay. Okay, so this was kind of an iffy game. Let's watch this back.
Yeah. So I died to 2 jump reads.
Yeah.
So that was the show. I am definitely panicking.
Yeah.
When he has a good advantage.
It is just a really good advantage state character. It's tough for the character, but when they get a jump, like when they get a hit, it's tough. Okay, so he catches fair. Funnily enough, fair is actually very punishable. I'm not sure if up B is optimal out of that. If you're SDIing it and you're like consistently getting out of it, then you can do kind of whatever you want. But yeah, up B works, I guess. I don't think you're gonna tank a move when you're in the air. Like if the sweet spot hit you, you're gonna die.
Okay.
Right. So, it's not even the. I don't think. Did you tank it? I don't think you tanked it.
No, he missed.
Yeah. So it's.
I wasn't confident that I was gonna avoid it.
Yeah, I know. It's just that up B gave away an opportunity to get an advantage, but
Right.
it's honestly fine. Well, that was unfortunate. You just mislanded the nair. Good idea. Okay. He's trying to punish your landing on nairs, and now he's starting to anti-air. Wow, that was smart. Okay. Yeah, he's starting to anti-air here. And I think because you're nervous, you're just starting to jump predictably.
Yeah.
So,
100%.
like, for example, let's see if I can. Yeah, full hop. Yeah, he fares. Yeah. Wow. Okay. I didn't expect you to double jump, but he did. Okay. Good DI.
The tea bag. That's how you know I'm SDIing hard.
Yeah, exactly. Good side B. Yeah. You're getting antsy for a hit. And yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. That is what it is.
I wanted to explain too, like my pick for FD. He banned it earlier, so I was thinking that even though this should be a free stage for Luigi in concept, I was thinking maybe he's not comfortable with it against swords. But
I
I
okay, I
think it definitely
generally
worked.
don't like to think of stuff like that because I have 100% been like, okay, I do well against this character on every stage. I don't want to play on Lilat and I don't want to play on Yoshi's. And I don't think they're
Until
going
you
to
don't have
pick
those.
Yoshi's, so I'll ban Battlefield Yoshi's even though I don't want them going to FD Town, right? Obviously, if
Right.
it's like Min and I don't have an option and I know that's where they're going to go, I'll ban it. But like there are some stages that I don't want to play on, like Lilat. I'm not a fan of Lilat. I'm not a fan of Yoshi's. They're good for Ike, but they're better for everybody else. Like, so
Yeah, especially
I
Mario.
yeah, like Mario, Palu, basically like any character that can kill you off the top or off the sides early. Any character with wall stuff. Any character with you know what I mean. Like it's just not. I don't know. I think it's a BS stage, but and like that's not a complaint. It's just like if you go there, you're hoping to get some BS. Like I genuinely have considered going there against better players to try and get some cheese. Um,
Yes.
but like, is Mushroom Kingdom legal?
No.
Okay,
I think he's just thinking.
gotcha. Okay,
Or I
so
was just thinking because I was picking.
no, that makes sense.
So
So
I picked Hollow Bastion here. But yeah, so the reason why I didn't ban FD was just for that reason, but I think for sure, like you were saying, maybe like there was some mind games in play there.
yeah, honestly, there might be. It also might be that y- he's not comfortable on the stage, sure, but it's a good Luigi stage. So the way that I
Yeah,
generally pick stages is that I don't try and think about what the opponent wants me to do or doesn't want me to do. I think about where they're going to struggle and where I'm going to be comfortable.
right. Okay.
What the opponent wants often isn't what they. This sounds stupid. What they want isn't what they need, right? So
Yeah,
like whether they want to go to FD or not, it doesn't change the fact that Luigi does well, and it doesn't change the fact that you know Ike Ike does fine on FD, but it's you have no places to go, right? Luigi without
yeah,
without platforms is a much scarier character. It's like Little Mac. Um, I would still say that FD is a better stage for Mac, just because of up B being able to be canceled and all those sorts of things. But FD is a close second, right? Because you can't platform camp, right? Platform camping Luigi's a thing. What is he gonna do,
yeah,
right? On this stage, less so, just because he can get up to the platform very quickly. But on triplats, it's very hard for him. So I would say if
yeah.
if, if you're aware that Luigi struggles on those stages and you know he does well on FD, you should trust yourself
Okay.
because I think
Yeah,
your
that's
judgment when
that's
it comes
sort
to
of
that
like
stuff has
the.
always been good.
I'm sorry.
Your judgment when it comes to that stuff is usually very good. I don't think you've had a
Yeah.
problem with that. Good idea.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem. I'm interested to see this game though. Nice. It was slightly misspaced. I'm kind of worried that you're gonna get punished for being reckless like once and it's gonna be over. Hmm. Man, I am just
Like that.
calling it. I
That was a
just
hard read.
yeah no I that's the thing, right? This is what I'm
You did the
talking
hard
about
read.
when I say that like it's one mistake. If the
Yeah.
Luigi sees that you make one mistake, he doesn't even have to punish you in that moment. He can let you do it, right? He literally just lets you do it. He doesn't try to hit you for it. He lets you miss space nair. He logs it in his brain, and then he hits you for it next time. It happens when, like here? Oh no, this is earlier. But like he down B's out of it, you get a great punish. You just kind of jump in recklessly, you get in there. I think he tried to parry it, which I like, but he saw that you were getting, a little bit too antsy, and he got the kill off it.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, Greb is definitely a big risk in that situation. Going for any sort of punishable option to zero is very risky, and the problem is that like when you lose a lead, you have to do something that's inherently risky to hit them, right? So I
Yeah.
Greb is particularly bad in that situation, but like the fact that you lost the lead is really rough. And don't get me wrong, you can make a comeback against Luigi. It's not impossible. It's just that you have to play safe and you have to rely on them making some type of error.
Definitely. Yeah. Does it look like so far that like I'm fixing the anti-air problem from the last game because that's basically what I was focusing on a lot. Was
What do you
that
mean by
because
the
the
anti-air
anti-air made me a
problem?
lot. I'm sorry.
Oh, you mean the problem of him just catching your jumps nonstop? Yes.
Yeah.
Well,
So like right
to
there, I did a trade.
to an extent, yeah. I like the fact that you went for instant side B. I like the fact that you didn't just jump and you upbeat there.
Yeah.
Good F tilt. That was actually a smart F tilt because it was just safe. Uh, okay. Yeah, there. You got you got Ike side beat. That's that
Yeah.
thing when you side B, you try to run the other direction and you fall in quicksand.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're the exact reason you misspaced that. It's fine, but yeah. So he gets the up smash here, and this is just a very difficult situation, right? Because you're grab away from 50%, and you have to take two stocks. Yeah. He went for something. By the way, he's given up on the zero to death. This is something that Guy does to me. He doesn't even try to do the zero to death. He just tries to carry me off stage, which usually does like
Yeah.
70. Yeah, that's becoming predictable. That double jump side B. I don't know if he'll end up bearing you for it or if he might just get something else. But okay.
I was thinking I had it true there, but
Yeah, it was close. Honestly, if I were in this situation, that I would go for. The Nair up air you went for, I would go for. But if I hit him with like Nair at 60, I would be fishing for some type of read on an escape option. Because like if I Nair him at
okay.
60, he's not going to be able to fair me. Yeah, you just tried to jump out of the corner. That wasn't that wasn't that predictable. He just started to catch on.
Yeah.
Um, honestly, I think you played this very well. I think the problem wasn't even so much the game as much as it was the timing of the stock losses, right? You really have to play with um, a different mindset when you're down, when you're winning, especially versus Luigi. And Luigi teaches that very well because Luigi is really kind of never losing, but he's also very close to losing at the same time, if that makes sense. Like he's
Yeah.
always a fair away from dying off stage at any percent, but he's also a grab away from just taking your stock or forcing you into a situation where he can take your stock with a read, right? So
Yeah.
you, you kind of have to play for the lead and you have to stick to your lead. And that's not something that, firstly, I think that's kind of one of your bigger weaknesses is that you kind of just play the same. And that's fine. Uh, don't get me wrong. It's not like it's, you're fishing for the exact same move all the time. But like you don't really play
The
for the
flow.
lead and you don't really play against your opponent's lead. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah. No, I've been told that before too, and I notice it myself. It's like I still try to find the same openings, the same like general flow. So I
Yeah.
definitely need to like work on
I wouldn't even say it's
adopting
the
the type of play style. Was that?
I wouldn't even say it's the what's the word for it? I wouldn't even say it's the flow of the game. Although you could say it's the flow of the game. I would say it's more so this it's more so the idea that like you have to play around the win condition. Like against
Yeah.
Luigi, you don't have to worry about really powerful long range anti-airs. You don't have to worry about um, really what you have to worry about are quick small things that combo into grab, fireball, Zaire, and grab itself, right? And what that means for Ike is usually be on a platform, right? Try to avoid touching the ground in general, right? It's a radical difference
Sorry,
from
can
how
you
you
repeat
would
that
play
one more time?
against. Yeah, sure. Stay on platforms, right? Avoid being grounded.
Oh,
Avoid being. Yeah? Can you hear me? Hello? Yo. Hold on, let's check.
yeah. Hi. I was wondering, can you repeat that one more time? Just
Yeah,
what
yeah,
you
yeah, yeah,
said.
no problem, no problem.
The
So,
things to look out for.
yeah, basically, you want to avoid getting hit by win conditions. In this situation, you can't get at low percent against Luigi, right? At like zero. You want to avoid fireball. You want to avoid Zaire. You want to avoid grab. Grab doesn't combo if you're on a platform. The only way he can get that sort of thing is if he mixes you and gets on a platform and then works from there, which is not easy, right? So if you're on a platform, if you're off the ground that Luigi's on, it becomes very difficult for him to get things started, right? Fair is quick. Fair can like platform pressure. Up air is quick. Up air can platform pressure. And really good Luigi's will know how to platform pressure and get you off the platform and off stage and into grab. But essentially, you have to know their intention before you sit down to play. You have to know that they want X
Like,
option and X thing. Can you hear me, Chozin?
so
Can you?
yeah, I even messaged you. I couldn't hear you like the whole time.
It's okay. Don't worry about it.
So I reconnected. But
Okay.
yeah, the things that I caught, you said look out for something about Zaire, right?
Yes. Okay. So you want to avoid Luigi's win conditions. Can you hear me? He's already disconnecting. Can you hear me? All right, I'm gonna wait for you to say that you can hear me because I don't want to repeat this a third time. I'm gonna actually start to write it down because it'll just be helpful. Yeah, Tomahawk is wrong. It's Tomahawk. Yeah, can't spell. I think that's what I had before too, which is funny. Okay, look
Everything seems okay.
to. Yeah, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna say it again. Look to avoid win conditions, right? And I'm gonna
Yes.
say for Luigi, that's Zair, that's grab, and that's fireball, right?
Yeah.
And really, what you're avoiding Zair and fireball for are the combo into grab, right? So Zair, fireball, grab, right? And the way you can avoid getting comboed into grab, you can do this in a couple ways. You can be in the air, right? You can be on a platform, and you can be out of range,
Yeah.
right? Generally, if you play just to be out of range, you're going to get pushed to the corner. If you play just to be in the air, you're going to get anti-aired. If you play just to be on a platform, you'll get platform pressured. So you want to do all three. And really, the power is not in any one of them, it's in the transition between the three. If you can make the transition between the three so fast that the opponent has to basically guess whether they're going to be platform pressuring, anti airing, or chasing you to the corner, you will beat. You'll steamroll. You'll
Yeah.
steamroll, right? If you can make that transition simultaneous, like seamless, it's impossible. And the player that I think of when I think of transitioning like that is Suarez, the Yoshi, right? He is both just out of your range and just in his, and he goes back and forth so quickly that it feels like it's almost at the same time.
Yeah, I can see that because I watched a few of his games before.
He's
I can
he's
definitely see. Would you say like people like Raven King and Yez are also like and yourself are like really good at like weaving in and out of like threat ranges
oh,
like that?
I wouldn't say myself. I still am definitely working on that. From what I've seen, Raven King is one of the best Ikes at that. I think Ryuga is one of the best Ikes at that. I think honestly, that's a Ike is at his core, right? The better you are at the game, the better you are at the fundamental aspects of the game, the better you are at Ike. And I really do think like the better Ike players are just better at these things because they're the better players. Because there's not much that separates the good Ike players, right? So like when we talk about players like Ryuga, like Raven King,
Yeah,
right?
I agree with that.
The, they are better Ikes, not because of some magic, like this magic idea. It's because of these concepts, because they apply them so well, right? That's why. And like my point is that this is an area where I think you could definitely improve, and that's gonna make you just a better player. Uh, yeah, that's just this sort of idea of transitioning between. It's not even you're not even transitioning between your win conditions because Ike's win conditions are so fundamental and so straightforward. Like, there is nobody in the world who doesn't know, like, who plays this game competitively and is like, I wonder what Ike's gonna try and hit me with today, right?
Yeah,
That's not that doesn't happen, right? Everybody knows you want to land with aerials. Everybody knows you want to get a grab. Like even the beginners, and everybody knows you want down tilt, right? That's just so fundamental, right? You have a ground move, you have a grab, and you have an aerial, right? Obviously, you can land a bunch of different things. You can land any aerial, grab, any tilt, right?
yeah,
Side B, very powerful. So, like, obviously there's more to it, but really those are the three main core tools. It, the, you're gonna find that the more you play and the better you get and the more experience you get, you already know what they are. You're not missing
yeah,
anything. That's what they are, right? Like, so really what it comes down to is application. How creative can you get? How far can you push? How far can you expand? Right? On these ideas. But I promise you, what you're gonna see is not that you're gonna look back and you're gonna think, "Oh man, I didn't fully understand what these were." You do fully understand what they are. It's about recontextualizing them and re-experiencing them in different situations, right?
Yeah,
Do
I
you get what I'm
agree with
saying?
that for sure.
Like,
Yep.
because a lot of people, what they think is that like eventually they'll reach a point where they know what to do with Mario up air in every situation, like a math equation, and like that doesn't happen. You get so
Hmm.
familiar with your character's tools that you end up being able to use them in situations that you've never experienced before. Right? It's applied knowledge. So
Yeah, I've heard the saying that applied knowledge is power.
yes,
So
yes. But like my point is that like the understanding that you have of the moves, it, it's not wrong. It only gets expanded on. That's the point, right?
yeah,
Don't get me wrong, there are some people who don't understand how to use moves. That's not what I'm trying to say. There are, but you are not at that level. You are far past that. So my point is basically trust your knowledge because it's not wrong. You're not doing that's the thing. I want to avoid using the term wrong. You're not doing something wrong, right? You're not missing anything. You just want to add, right? You want to add. You're at a point where we're not taking away things. You're not unlearning anything. You're just adding to what you already know.
that's definitely a good way of looking at it, man.
Yeah.
That's good to know. I appreciate it.
No, no, it's
Um,
really not like it is a compliment, but it's just true. Like I'm not saying it to be a compliment. It's just the way you should think about it. Because if you're going into a game, right? For example, let's say you don't get the opportunity to play against Luigi and you play against Luigi and you go into it and you think, "Oh man, I don't know how to play this matchup." No, you do know how to play this matchup. Now you do, right? Now you do. Or if you go into a matchup and you feel like you have no idea what's going on, you do know how to play the game, right? You know how your moves are supposed to work. And you know how your opponent's moves work, even if you don't feel like you're that comfortable in the matchup, you know what they're trying to do to you, right? The knowledge is all there. I'm telling you, like this is the difference, and this is why your mindset is so good. I didn't know exactly why it was so good. I've been recently thinking about this. Funnily enough, you in particular and how you think. You have confidence in yourself. I've never heard you call somebody bad. It's always different levels of good, right? Is that, sometimes misleading? Sure. But if you think that you're a good player, you're going to do better than if you think you're bad. Always, right? You might not win every game, but if you genuinely believe that you're good, it becomes much easier to do things you've never done before. It becomes much easier to trust yourself and you're not going to hesitate as much. And you don't hesitate. I
right.
will say that. You really don't. You hesitate like twice as sad.
Oh, that's cool.
No, seriously. I've gotten like when I first started competing again, like after quarantine, I got steamrolled. I just was not confident. I was losing to players who were just not as like like people didn't think I was that good. I very recently started beating people in my local scene who were good, just because I didn't realize that like I knew it, right? Like I knew the information. I wasn't missing anything. I just didn't believe in myself. But like you don't have that
Yeah,
problem, and it's important that you know that that's a strength. It's not naive. It's not being naive. It's a strong thing to have. Because a lot of people will say like, oh, well, you're just being naive, right? But
Can
you're not.
I say this though, real quick? Like just
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
because I do really appreciate, and I just don't want to like portray like the wrong thing. I
Sure.
will say though, there are many occasions, even I'd say like to a certain extent, even last week, where I just didn't like really fully like feel confident while playing. It's more so like I feel confident like, and this is I think like everybody. It's like you feel confident when you practice and when you learn something, right?
Yeah,
It's like, oh, I'm getting better, and then like it's just like sometimes I really still like, and I think I said this in the last lesson too, like I want to like definitely start making habits, making like just like practicing ways to think, so that when I go in a tournament, like mo- at least a good amount of the time, I know I'll be confident and I know that I'll do well, instead of like leaving it up to chance or just like
I have
you
one
know,
for
just
you,
like
and this is something that has helped me a lot, and I'm glad you brought this up because I have a ton of these.
awesome.
This is something that I use specifically against Bayo. Specifically against Bayo. And it has worked
Okay.
wonders. I still have not learned that matchup, right? I don't know if I mentioned this to you, but Reflection, a really, really good Bayo player. I beat
Yeah.
his Joker in a game. It was 1-1, and he went Bayo and 3-stocked me. We actually played
Yeah.
again, and he went Bayo, and it was much closer, right? It went from me getting
That's
3-stocked,
awesome.
not knowing what was happening, to like I think one game it was maybe a 2-stock. I think he was on 100%, and then the other game he was at 50%, and I died. Right, I had him in a situation where I could have killed him, but I just missed the down air. But like it was, he had to play. Right, he had to play the game. Um, the difference, the only difference, was that I went into it thinking I am going to get hit. It is inevitable. If I can live long enough, I can win, right? Because
Yeah.
basically I said to myself, I'm gonna get heal slided. I'm gonna take 60. I'm Ike. I can live to 200. If I don't give him a stupid kill, I will win, right?
Yeah.
That's sort of how you go into games, right? Bayo's win condition is not combos, right? It is her win condition, but like that's inevitable. Her win condition is killing you at 100. If she can kill you early, you're at 0 and her combos are inevitable, right? So she's going to get extra credit unless you're really good. You have to make a really good play to avoid extra credit. And even then, it's even. So,
Yeah.
like, the point is that in that matchup, you're going to take damage, you're going to take combos, right? You have to take the combo and then play, right? Because, sure, she gets good damage really easily, but it's very difficult for her to get a kill. And if you play around down B and you play around that sort of thing, you can take it. And that mindset shift of like, I can take combos, I just can't get killed, is what got me as far as I did. Right? I still have to learn the matchup. I don't know it very well, but that's that's the difference, right? And Luigi, in some ways, is kind of the opposite, and it's much scarier. But like, if you get the hit by the combo for Luigi, at least like for most characters, for Ike is he's kind of lucky. Like he only gets hit to 70, but for most characters, it's you're dead, right? Or you're almost dead,
Hmm.
right? For Ike, it's you're almost dead, right? With Luigi, you can't get hit by the combo starter at all, which is great because his combo starters are bad, right? Compare Bayo combo starters to Luigi combo starters, right? Greb is not
Yeah. A
very
lot
good.
worse.
Like, like Bayo's side B is very active, slides along the entirety of the ground. You can mix it and make it safe on shield, but no one does that. Um, like you can do a lot with it, right? Luigi has grab, probably the worst universal option in the game for landing a move, right? Grab is just not very good. His tether's solid, but like grab is just weak, right? The only problem is that if he gets it, he kills you, right? Or he gets you to 70 and you're off stage, right? So like that sort of thing, right? Learning the win condition and playing around it is something you need not only to hear from me, but to experience a lot, right? Because I also
For
happened to
sure.
just play a
Yeah.
bunch of Bayo that time, or like think about Bayo a lot before the set. I didn't plan on playing him, but we just ended up playing. The I'm kind of droning on here. The thing that I'm trying to like prove, the thing that I'm trying to show, is that win conditions vary wildly by character. I'm gonna put this here. I'm gonna add to the other point, but win conditions vary wildly by character, and they affect not only playstyle, not only uh, what's the word for it? They affect not only your opponent's playstyle, I can't spell, play style, but also how you have to play around them, right? So like
Yeah.
you don't platform camp ZSS, you can't.
Yeah.
You platform camp Luigi, right? You platform camp maybe Little Mac, right? You can't really like consistently edge guard not ZSS, who has insane recovery, Pikachu, right? Your goal is to parse your hits against the rats and kill them at like 50 with Nair up air, right? That sort of thing, like you have to do, like, you can parse your hits against anybody, but
Yeah.
in the Pikachu matchup, you have to do it, or else you're gonna die, right? Because Nair up air stops comboing very early, and then you have to get a raw hit on a character that runs under your back air, right? So it's very difficult to explain, but like I could go on about all the different characters, but the way that I see it in my head is based on all the experience that I have against them, right? This is, I would say at this point, probably over 150 hours of playing Jintas, right? Maybe not 150, maybe not 150, but like 3 months times
Yeah.
2 hours a day times 5, right? Like we play a lot, and he's a Pikachu player, right? So I'm playing that all the time. All that knowledge I'm trying to condense into a win condition, but my point is that like everybody does something differently, and everybody's trying to do something different to you, right? And I think right now you're in a situation where you're playing around Ike against everybody, right? You're playing against your opponent is playing Ike, and they can grab you and get you to 70, and you can't think like that. I don't know if I'm projecting. I used to think like that a lot. I was playing around people's anti-airs. I was playing at a range where it was like I was pretending like I was playing against myself. You really got to play around
Yeah.
your
No,
opponent.
I do fall into that trap a lot too.
Yeah, exactly. You know what I'm talking about, where like you're trying to
Yeah.
outspace an Ike Nair, and your opponent physically can't cover that space because it's just
Yeah.
what you're used to, you know. But really, what that comes down to is being aware, right? This is something you really got to do in friendlies because you can't do this in bracket. Being aware of your opponent's threat range and being aware of what they want to land on you at any given point, right? Percents are important, especially in matchups like Luigi, where the difference between 0 and 10% actually does matter. But like in most matchups, it's not really the percent number so much as it is low percent, mid percent, high percent. If you can truly break that down and feel what your opponent wants at low percent, mid percent, high percent, it'll just be more consistent for you to start learning this idea. I don't think you have to worry about 0, 10, 20, 30, 40. It's just too much. Right? And usually it doesn't
Yeah.
make a difference. Right? ZSS would love to hit a nair on you from anywhere from 40 in the corner, anywhere from 40 to like 120. Right? I've seen nair jump, double jump, flip, kill with at like 100. Right? Like it's gonna kill you. Right? And if it's not gonna kill you, they'll bury you or something. Right? Nair's always good. It's the same thing with Ike. Right? So like that's this is one of the beauties of Ike is that down tilt is always a threat, Nair is always a threat, and Greb is always a threat, right? Up until maybe 100, but even then, forward throw is really good, right? So I'm I keep falling into the trap of droning on about the same idea, but my point is that
Yeah, no, it's okay. I appreciate you.
like win conditions sound like this very enigmatic thing that doesn't really matter or is like too abstract to be relevant, but it's very relevant. Because really I think the problem is people use the term wrong, but when you use the term correctly, the win condition, it's like what does your opponent have to do to win the game? And if you can answer that question for every single character, you'll immediately see a difference in your play, right? Because Mario doesn't play the same way that Ike does. He doesn't, right? He hits your shield with a bunch of safe moves, and he tries to mix you into picking a bad option or mix you into a situation where you get hit by something, right? Because all he needs to do is land a grab at 0 and you're at 40. All he has to do is land a nair at 0 and you're getting grabbed, right? All he has to do is touch you, and you're getting combo to 40, and then you're getting combo to death, or you're getting combo to 80 off stage, right? So, like, for Mario, he only really has to hit you twice. The problem is that he has to get past your sword, right? Like, he can flood you if you have to up B, but you can side B and generally avoid it unless he reads you hard, right? So, he also has cape, but he has to time that very well against side B. Um, he also has like flood in the other direction, but that's difficult to get, and you have to go high. It's basically like he has to make a read, and he can kill you off that read, but you can also kill him off any read that you make. And generally, you're consistently winning neutral because of your sword, right? You can outspace him. You trade. You don't even trade. You just beat his moves, right? If you're getting pressured on the ground, you're losing, and if he's getting pressured on the ground, he's losing. Frame 3 RP, but it should never hit you. Like those sorts of things are that's just what a matchup is, right? And like
Yeah.
I I have an idea in my head and it's not coming out of my mouth. I don't know how to explain it. But like that sort of knowledge and not just knowing, but using it and changing how you play, making decisions in game based on the options that your opponent has, character specific, player specific, even options that your opponent has, is the difference. It's the difference between you beating and not beating that player. 100%. If you were playing against Luigi in that set, it's different. And like
Yeah, I
that's my
agree with
point.
that 100%.
That's my point. If you're because honestly, I'm glad that this was the set that we watched because we're coming up on 6:40. I'm gonna call it at 6:45. But
Yeah, no
the
problem.
the what's the word for it? The the win condition. That's the word. The win condition there. If you uh, like playing around win conditions is the difference. It's going to make the most difference in your play. Because right now it's just not happening at the level that it needs to be happening at. But if you practice, this is what I was saying before. If you practice playing around opponents' win conditions, and for example, right, um, Mario is trying to fireball you, he's trying to grab you, he's trying to pressure your shield. You are in the air, right? Let's say you're on FD. He gets an up air. So what? He floods you to the corner. Fine, right? Let yourself like play brazenly, play risky, play around your opponent's best options and see what happens. Play against Mario to never get grabbed and never get shield pressured and never get fireballed on the ground so that he can grab you. Whatever else happens, happens. He gets 50 backers on you. Fine. Just see how that changes. Like, make active, tangible changes to your gameplay based on how your opponent wants to hit you, based on the optimal way that they try and hit you, right? You could do the same thing with Diddy, right? Diddy loves to have banana on the ground, condition you with command grab and shield, right? Space and airs on your shield, right? Anti-air you once you start to jump, right? Let him anti-air you a ton because you don't want to get bananaed. Just let him fair you. It is so much better to take a fair, right? That now the problem is that you don't want to do that in bracket because you will lose. But if you let yourself
Right.
lose in friendlies and you see what happens, see the logical extent, like let the tape play out on the opponent just hitting you for those things, what do you do next? And the answer for Diddy is you short hop up air, right? You anti-air them before they anti-air you. You could even rising fair it, right? And then what happens? Well, they stay on the ground and they try and block you. Okay, well now I'm going to land with Nair. And then they're going to try and whiff punish. Well, then I'm going to side B, right? Just play the tape out every single time. Let yourself get hit a million times until you figure out exactly why you're being punished, and then punish that exact option every time. Like let that sort of, uh, I guess the word is flow of the game, and now we see why flow of the game is not really a great term. But let the flow of the game dictate what you're doing. Let the opponent's best options be the thing that you avoid the hardest, even if it makes you predictable and obvious, and let the tape play out and see what you can do about it. Because what you'll find is that when you do this a bunch, let's say you do it against Luigi, you'll hear the announcer say go, and you're in the 5th level of neutral. You'll hear the announcer say go, and your side being is with punish.
Yeah.
And like that's the game, right? That's because right now you're starting at 1, and you're playing from 1, and you're playing with, I'm gonna try and get him to anti-air me so I can hit him. He already knows how to anti-air you. That is not his problem. That, like now you're reaching the game, basically. You're reaching the point where every option is on the table. Right? Your opponent can do anything. They don't have to be conditioned by your first move because they know what you're going to do. Right? And that's Ike syndrome because like you can play Ike for a week and know everything that he wants to do. Right? Even like the player who plays him for a week, when they become a top player, the knowledge that they had from that first week probably will still apply. Right? Like everybody knows how to fight Ike. Well, no, not everybody knows how to fight Ike. Everybody knows what Ike wants to do to them. Right?
Yeah.
So you have to, like, especially against these players, you go into it knowing they know how to anti-air me. They know how to punish my misspaced aerials. They know how to whiff punish. You assume they know how to punish you for everything that you can do, and you see how they try and punish you, and you hit them for that. Landing Nair, if you're landing Nair on a human being, bread and butter, right? That's your win. Right? If you're just doing the wall out Nair in neutral and they're walking into it and they're misspacing their punishes and they're missing their parries, thanks for the combo. From here, it's I'm going to punish them for trying to avoid Nair.
Hello.
Yeah, can you hear me?
I couldn't hear for like the past like 10 seconds.
Oh
So
yeah,
the
yeah,
last
that's
thing I
fine.
heard was
Yeah?
hello.
What was the last thing you heard?
Yeah. So the last thing I heard was the about like just like understanding the like so when like they say you said that they know how to play, they know what Ike wants, but they
Mm-hmm.
don't know everyone knows how to play against against Ike.
Perfect.
So
Okay.
when you go into a game, you just understand like yeah, you're doing the opponent wants to do this,
Yeah.
so you know like you do this.
Yeah. Okay. So basically, what
So
I was
it's
saying
more
from there.
so, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Oh yeah, no, I'm
basically,
sorry. Go ahead.
no, no, no. It's okay. It's okay. I'm gonna let you talk after this. Basically,
Yeah.
landing Nair on an opponent, free, right? That's great. That's awesome for you. But really, it shouldn't. It's not that it shouldn't happen because an Nair is a very good move. It's that you want to be playing around how they're avoiding it because they know to avoid that move. How are they avoiding it? Are they anti-airing you? Are they preventing you from doing it? Up air, right? Are they running away and trying to whiff punish you with something like Greninja Dash Attack? Side B, right? Or land and shield, or double jump, right? You can do a lot against that. Are they trying to parry, delay your timing on purpose to beat parry? My point now is that Nair isn't enough. Nair is not going to be enough to condition. You have to play against your opponent's best way of beating your Nair out, and you have to play against what they want to land on you, right? And oftentimes they overlap, right? Because a Luigi would love to outspace your Nair and whiff punish you with a grab, or whiff punish
Yeah.
you with a fireball, right? Mario would love to get a read on when you're going to jump and get a combo starter under a platform, or get a read on when you're going to land with Nair and land with his own fireball, right? So from here, not only are you intentionally looking to avoid your opponent's punish, you're looking to punish them for how they punish you.
Yeah.
Basically, you don't have to establish Nair anymore because your opponent knows Nair. Your opponent knows Nair. If they don't know Nair, it will become very clear that they don't. Trust in
Yeah.
yourself that you will be able to see if your opponent doesn't know how to deal with you landing with aerials. You'll feel it immediately. At my locals,
Yeah.
like the Stony Brook locals, my round one, I am full hop nairing. Belligerently. Belligerently. Right? I am full hop nairing belligerently, and I am not letting anybody sway me from that because they don't know how to anti-air me. And I know that sounds stupid, but that's difficult. That's something that, like, you have to have confidence in the fact that you know that your opponent doesn't know how to deal with that, right? And what happens is eventually, the more I play, like, I reach people who anti-air me, and I have to change, right? I can't I can't stick to that game plan. My point, very simply, is that your game plan and how you play should be completely dependent, right? Maybe 10% of it stays, but almost completely dependent on your opponent's character, and how they try and avoid you. And they all overlap. They all overlap, right? Your opponent and your opponent's character, they often will have very similar habits, right? Roys oftentimes pressure very fast. They play the game very fast. So do Sheiks, so do Greninjas. You very rarely find, what's the word for it? Meticulous and mechanical. Oh, thanks for the follow. Meticulous and mechanical playstyles in that way, right? You also
Yeah.
don't often find, what's the word for it? You also don't often find meticulous and mechanical playstyles in these fast characters. You don't often find fast, rushed, aggressive playstyles in Ike players. In what's the word for it? What's like, you don't find them in the slower, heavier, kind of, I guess the word is tankier players, right? Tankier characters. They overlap a lot, right? Bayo players,
Yeah. I can see that.
like, you get what I'm saying? Like, Bayo players oftentimes they have the combos down, and they play creatively at kill percent. You can use that against them. Basically, if you're blocking your face, your stomach is open. There's always a disadvantage to doing something, no matter what it is. There's an inherent flaw
Yeah.
to every option. It's just sometimes smaller than others. And, like, if you
Yeah.
can really find the flaw in all the ways your opponent tries to avoid Nair, in all the ways your opponent is trying to land their win condition, and in all the ways that they're trying to pressure you or avoid your pressure, literally all those different things, you are conditioning them in advantage, you are conditioning them in disadvantage, and you have to maintain awareness of when they're conditioning you in disadvantage and advantage. Right? I think the second part for you is going to be the tough part, because I genuinely believe that you're very aware of your opponent when you're hitting them, and you're
Yeah.
very aware of the opponent when they're hitting you. It's more so that you're more liable to getting conditioned. You know how to condition, but that other half of it, of avoiding your opponent's stuff, is a little bit tougher.
Yeah, for sure. That's
Um,
definitely something I need to work on as well.
but yeah, that's really my spiel. I've talked for a long time.
Yeah, no worries. I appreciate it a lot.
Yeah,
This is gonna be good too, just for me to mentally prepare myself because I actually have a really it's my local tournament tomorrow because I think you know now like I have my tournament every Monday, but
yeah,
it's gonna be a big one because they have there's like more of a pot prize. So there's gonna be a good amount of people coming from like San Diego or like up north. So we're gonna have a good amount of competition. Like the Sheik that we saw before is going there. Our best player is gonna be there. He's a snake player. There's gonna be two other really good snake players coming. So just a
gotcha.
lot of competition.
And thank you, Hydro Swap, for the follow. Sorry, I just wanted to mention that. But yeah, no,
Yeah,
I'm
no problem.
that's awesome, dude. Having great competition is always the best way to improve. Um,
Yeah,
I do want to say, don't go into it with an idea of, what's the word for it? You don't have to go into it with this idea that you have to do well, or you have to have this sort of expectation. I I really like the buzz. Basically, he says all the time, don't go into matches with any sort of expectation, right? And what this does, not only will it prevent you from getting tilted, because tilt comes from expectation. Have you ever found that when you're playing someone who's bad, or like you think that they're weak, you end up not liking the game no matter how well you do, because you have this sort of unspoken expectation of doing better than you're doing, right? Like, they land a hit and you go,
yep,
"Oh man, I shouldn't have gotten hit by this player." Like,
yep,
that stems directly from this expectation that you're better than them. And then when you play an insane player and you get three stocked, I'm not really upset. they're good. I expected to not do as well, right? So anything that satisfies your expectation will make you feel better, and anything that betrays it will make you feel like salty and worse. Almost always. So if you can like
Yeah.
prevent yourself from expecting anything in every single game, whether it's round one or grand finals, you will play your best. So and like this is where it's tough because like I'm telling you to avoid win conditions and avoid your opponent and play differently but not expect anything, right? So it's kind of a difficult balance beam to walk. Um, Essentially, what you want to do is you want to have your knowledge of a character so fundamental and so backbone, and know all these things about the character so deeply that when they betray them, or like when your opponent plays weird, or when your opponent does something you didn't expect, it's not shattering. It's not like you can completely avoid it because you can use the knowledge that you already have and apply it to what you know, and you can avoid it from there.
Yeah.
Right? It's one of those things. Uh, but yeah, no, that's really important, and I'm glad that you brought that up. If you want to talk more about mindset, A, DM me, and B, we can just have a session about it. I can show you some stuff. Like I didn't have any resources prepared, but like I watch a lot of different videos about it. I can send you some like grave mind videos that I really like. But like I've been watching a lot of, I guess the term, this is gonna sound really cringy, but like motivational content. I wouldn't call it motivational because it's motivational. Don't get me wrong, but like really the core of it is it teaches you how to think when it teaches you how to think about different things. Like for example, one of them is about failure. One of them is about expectation. Like I learned the expectation thing from a Gravemind video. One of them is about the inner self and how you can kind of conquer yourself to perform your best. Like those sorts of things. It's motivational, but like it's also very informative. So I would highly recommend those. I'll send you some.
Thank you. Yeah, I appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem. I think that's
I
for
think
yeah.
oh, I just wanted to say I think like especially like the stuff that we talked about is definitely gonna help me, regain my confidence again in terms of like, like just playing the way I want to play and not like feeling like too antsy or nervous.
See, this is the thing.
Um,
This is the thing that I want to say before we call it. You are already a good player.
yeah,
You are improving always, right? So don't
yeah,
worry about so much where you are. Worry far more about what each action you take is going to get you, right? Where you're going to go, what you're going to become, right? Not so much what it's going to get you in terms of the material, but like the knowledge and the experience, right? And
yeah,
don't worry about what's the word for it? Like don't worry about your skill level because I'm not worried about your skill level. You're a good player, right? And you know that if you play your best, you're going to do well. So don't stop yourself. Don't worry about your confidence. Don't worry about this. Don't worry about that. Let yourself play. Don't have any expectations.
yeah,
Let yourself play because you know that you'll do well. And that's what confidence is, right? I know that you're going to do well. And you know that if you play your best, you'll do well. So that knowledge, right? That knowledge that if I play my best, I do well. That's what confidence is. And if you truly, truly, truly believe that, which I'm sure you do, it will happen, and you'll just let yourself play. Don't get in the way of yourself, especially with Ike. Don't try and overcomplicate stuff.
yeah.
Like
I
he's
agree with that too.
he's
Yeah, I
straightforward to a
overcomplicating,
fault.
not a good combination.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. But you like really, it's I I I can understand how like after a loss you'll feel less confident, but it's a feeling. You have
Yeah,
confidence. You are a confident player, and I promise you, if you just don't get in your own head and you let yourself play, which I've seen you do, you did it against this Luigi, you're fine. There's no pressure. You always have another tournament. You always have more opportunities to get better. At that tournament, you'll definitely play games that will make you better. So no matter what happens, right? Literally 0-2, you win the entire event, like you succeeded that day,
yeah,
right? And getting hit and all that sort of stuff is inevitable. It is guaranteed to happen to you. You don't have to worry about not getting hit. You have to worry about making sure that you play your best and you make all the decisions that you know the best version of you would make. And if you can say that you did that, GG.
Yeah.
Yeah, I probably like rambled for a very long time, but I think everything that I said is pretty important. And I also am going to try and upload all your VODs today. I have all of them. I just haven't uploaded them.
Okay, awesome. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
no,
love
no.
to watch through them. It's pretty cool.
100%, 100%. I'm gonna try and get that done tonight, either that or tomorrow, just because I do have an essay due. But I will be on that soon. My point is just that I have them. Okay, I do have to go, but I hope this was helpful.
Hello.
Uh, yeah.
Oh
Can,
yeah, I'm sorry.
no,
What
you're
were
good.
you
You're
saying?
good. I just said I do have to go, but I hope this was helpful. I really do have to end stream now. Ooh, my bad. I said I really do have to end stream. Sorry, I didn't mean to disconnect. Hello?
Oh no, you're good.
Okay, cool, cool. All right. Later, man. Good luck tomorrow.
Yes.
Let me know how
Later.
it goes. Cool. Okay, that went very well. I have to go. Yeah. Later, guys.